All right, so in this, again, I have this rational equation, so I'm going to multiply every fraction by the LCD of all the fractions involved. The first two fractions are already factored, but this last one, I first want to put it in its factored form. It's the difference of two squares, so it factors into the sum and difference of the bases being squared, x plus 2 and x minus 2. So again, all I'm doing is rewriting that as a factored form. And then I'm going to multiply every fraction by the LCD of every fraction here. So I need a factor of x minus 2, a factor of x plus 2, and then x plus 2 and x minus 2, which I already have. So I'm going to distribute these to all three fractions. I'm going to take the numerator of my first fraction times the factor that does not get canceled out. The x minus 2's are canceled, leaving just the x plus 2. I'm going to take my next fraction's numerator, x plus 3, and multiply that by the factor here that doesn't get canceled out. Here the x plus 2's get canceled, but the x minus 2 does not. And then finally I take the numerator of my last fraction times whichever factor does not get canceled. In this case, they both get canceled. Okay, so if I distribute my x's through, I get x squared plus 2x. Here I'm going to go ahead and FOIL this, so I get x squared. I have a minus 2x and a plus 3x. And then my last term is negative 6. I have this minus x as well. Okay, so when I look to simplify this, what's going to happen here is the x squares I subtract from each side so they cancel. Here I have a negative 2x minus x is minus 3x plus a 3x. Those all cancel. So I'm just left with 2x is equal to negative 6. Divide by 2. I get x is equal to negative 3. Okay. Now, you do want to check your answers on these. Anytime you're dealing with a rational equation, you can see there's two values of x that you know for sure could never be possible, right? 2 and negative 2. Since this isn't either one of those, you're probably okay here. But if you get a chance to check your answers, it's probably a good idea. And so if we took this and plugged it in, negative 3 over negative 3 minus 2 is negative 5. We want to see, is that equivalent to, here we have 0 over negative 1 minus negative 3 over, so here we have 5. Or I'm sorry, a negative 3 squared is 9. 9 minus 4 is 5. Okay, so we can check this. This is a value of 0. The negatives cancel here. The negatives cancel here. And so you see that this, in fact, is the correct solution.